Yesterday I did a video on the connection between Rey and Qi'ra and how they could be related. Today it seems the connectivity goes even deeper than I had even thought. So I did a little more research on this whole theory of the Rey and Han and Qi'ra being related theory that's been hitting the internet. And this is coming from Reddit. This points out a few more connections than I had originally even thought. So here it lists about 8 different things that, kind of make a case for Rey being connected to Qi'ra. So here it's the number one, the obvious, is that Lucasfilm went out of the way to cast Emilia Clarke, a notorious British actress who happens to be a brunette. Also, Daisy Ridley, a brunette British actress herself. Number 2, confirmed multiple times, even by Daisy Ridley herself, Qi'ra, spelled K-I-R-A, was originally supposed to be the name of Rey. For whatever reason, they decided, along with this name for Solo, they decided to keep the name Qi'ra for Solo, but then switched it to Q-I''RA. And then a side note, people have noticed that the name is purposefully split by an apostrophe. K or Kai, QI, means vital energy that is held to animate the body internally and is of central importance. And then the second part, Ra, is the Egyptian sun god, and also worshipped as the creator of life in the Egyptian culture. So Qi'ra would technically mean, from an internal central significance, the creator of life. So, that would be Qi'ra in Solo they're talking about. Number 3, Qi'ra survives at the end of Solo. There's plenty of time for her unknown timeline to have a child in the future. Number 4, Ben in Solo says, Rey, you come from nothing, you are nothing. This fits if Qi'ra is Rey's mother. Qi'ra and Rey have similar beginnings. They both come from scrappy, resourceful orphans. They're both survivors. Qi'ra growing up on Corellia, and Rey growing up on her own desert planet, collecting scrap metal for survival. Number 5, Qi'ra fits the type of person to abandon her child. She is a woman who seems to flirt with danger and could have many reasons to go on the run. This would necessitate leaving a young daughter hidden on an obscure planet. Also, an ending of Solo where she leaves Han on a desert planet is very similar to the way she leaves Rey. So there's that similarity. Parallels to the most recent trilogies, lots of people see thematic similarities to The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens, specifically the ending where Qi'ra surprise attacks Voss, just like Kylo surprise attacks Snoke in defense of Han and Rey. Also, when Qi'ra and Han took the elevator up to Voss's office, to when Ben and Rey took the elevator up to Snoke's office. So they're not saying that Kylo's imitating Qi'ra, but that thematically it's a similar, trying to make the point that they're connected. Number 7, Solo was written by Lawrence Kasdan, who wrote Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, and The Force Awakens. So he would have, they're saying he would have written, because he wrote these movies, he would have written them to be connected. Number 8, this would allow for Kylo and Rey to have connection with their parents being once connected themselves. Also, it would bring out the idea that having 2 good parents, Kylo can still lead to darkness, and while Rey having 2 bad parents, although we don't know who the father is, it's not saying Han's the father, that's a little different subject. Rey could still be, towards the light side. Though it would still be unknown who the father was. So now it gives 5 reasons why there's a case that Qi'ra is not Rey's mother. Number 1, the timing doesn't make sense. It would be highly unlikely that Qi'ra would have Rey at an older age in her 40s, although it could happen. It's unlikely. Number 2, the thematic connections to previous Star Wars films have mostly been accidental, especially because The Last Jedi and Solo came out so close together. For Solo to really have time to figure out what the connections could be, and then write that in the movie and get it out. It's especially because Solo was done. Was like 90% shot way before it actually came out because they had to reshoot it. So the chances that they would have been able to get those things together that in time would have been fairly unlikely. Number 3, Han's instant familiarity with Rey most likely has nothing to do with Qi'ra at all. Instead, he either saw himself in her or saw Luke in her, because it seems like Han, had a sense that he knew her in Force Awakens. And then Qi'ra was rumored to be was originally supposed to be non-human. Qi'ra in Solo was originally supposed to be non-human. And if that's true, that debunks the whole theory completely. And then number 5, even if Qi'ra was the mother, who would be the father? It would be impossible for it to be Han unless Han had an affair, which is unlikely. So those are 8 reasons to believe it, 5 reasons to not. Now this leads me to a comment that was left on my previous video by somebody named What's Up? WTSUP. What's up? So what's up? What's up? And thank you for leaving this comment, because it's very interesting. So he kind of elaborates a little more on this theory. And he says he's pretty sure. Now, this is, again, his theory. So it says Qi'ra is absolutely Rey's mother. Rey's codename for Force Awakens was Qi'ra. Lawrence Kasdan wrote both, as we discussed. Qi'ra was based on Mara Jade, but without violating the film canon that forbids Jedi marrying or having children. So he's saying that the Qi'ra character was written to emulate, in a way, Mara Jade from the EU. Qi'ra was willing to lie to a Dark Lord to save a person she loved. Han was never abandoned by Qi'ra, but was being saved from a Dark Lord. Han watched Qi'ra leave in a ship, believing the worst, similarly to Rey. Rey thought she was abandoned by her parents in a ship, but she wasn't. So he's saying that Qi'ra was hiding Rey from somebody for a reason. Now here's what he says. Snoke created Rey using midichlorians. Qi'ra worked for Snoke as an assassin and lied to him about the existence of Rey. Now this is all conjecture. None of this is canon, or I think he's just kind of coming up with a theory here, which it's interesting. And I mean it's kind of the theory of how Anakin was created by Palpatine. There's that theory as well. So this kind of is similar, showing similar thematic themes to the prequels. Rey was never abandoned, just as Han wasn't. Qi'ra saved them both from the Dark Lords that would have killed them. Only the children of creation of Snoke will be the chosen ones to bring balance to the Force, sort of as Anakin was chosen. But, again, it's not clear whether Palpatine really created Anakin or not. But it's an old saga about to end, new saga about to begin. Both Anakin and Rey were created by Dark Lords using midichlorians. So, and he says film canon proves Qi'ra is Rey's mother and Snoke created her. Solo's now canon. I mean, so that's interesting. So he's his theory is that Snoke created Rey, similarly to how Palpatine created. Well, it supposedly created Anakin. Again, we don't know if this is true or not. We also don't know if Qi'ra had any connection to Snoke in any way. Snoke was around because he said he saw the fall of the Empire, the birth and fall of the Empire. So, I mean, he was around somewhere. We just don't know. Again, like The Last Jedi gave us no backstory to Snoke, so we don't know who he is or where he came from. We do know that Qi'ra did work for Darth Maul, so there was a connection there to the dark side and to the Sith. She does know how to fight. So could she have been recruited in a similar fashion to Mara Jade? It's possible. It's a very interesting theory that he's kind of elaborated on. And it's something I think, to look forward to and to kind of research a little further. So we'll see, if anyone else comes up with more theories. And if you guys, I'd love to know what you guys think about this down in the comments. Keep this conversation going. It's very interesting. And we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Give it a big thumbs up if you liked the video. And don't forget to subscribe to see more content. And until next time, lock the doors and hope they don't have blasters.